Hello, welcome to the lovely minute, and now we are at the lovely TMCR sprint along the Cold Drive. This is the entrance going to the TMCR, and we've got totally different guys in here. Notice that the guy on a neon green helmet. It's pretty nice to look at. It's bright, and you get to be easily noticed on the road. This area is actually a bit crowded because this is the air freight area. On the left side, you get probably later on you get to see a lot of huge buildings on the left side of the screen, and on the right side of the screen is actually the Changi Beach part. So it's a Saturday morning, so you get to see that's car park. That is the car park, and it's Saturday morning, and family day. You have to go out, and notice that the guy behind me is having this pretty unusual and very nice headlamp or headlight. Usually, you get to see only one, but these guys having two. You really have to increase your visibility when you're on the road. As I've mentioned earlier, you get to see on the left side of the screen, buildings. This is the air freight area. This is the logistics area of Singapore. The likes of FedEx, the Bishanker, so on and so forth, occupies that area. So that's my buddy. That's my buddy Tag. We're still adhering to the 2-on-2. Cycling in pairs. Whatever it is that you do, you can do an outdoor activity, but you have to do it in pair. So those guys are in pair. We are in pair. So that's me pulling Tag. I don't know if there's a guy in front of us. I don't remember this time anymore. But this time I'm just rolling around 38 to 39 because you can't really go as fast as 40 plus this time because of a lot of road furnitures here. They're fixing the roads, trying to make it smoother. You get to see, you see the barriers over there, and the logistic van. You get to see them one. So you have to be vigilant, and you have to really focus on your eyes on the road because just a lot of movements over here. A lot of movements. Now we're leaving the airfield area. We're actually entering the Changi Coast Road, going to the Aviation Park Road. So along the Aviation Park Road, it's gonna be a bliss. It's gonna be very nice. It's gonna be smooth. Lesser cars. Your eyes will actually be focused on the road, and it's really a fine morning to cycle. Notice that the weather is so nice, and if it's a weekend, a lot of cyclists really look forward to the weekend. Notice that these two guys, they're also riding in pairs. So it becomes six now. We are now six in the group. Me and Tak and those two Singaporeans and these two Angmo guys. They call it Angmo. I really like the neon green. I mean, it's pretty nice to look at. I'm probably gonna find one. I'll let you know in the next video. So see another two guys riding in pair. One thing about the guys here, one thing about the cyclists here in Singapore, that they really adhere. Most of the guys really adhere. They are just those guys who can't be bothered. But some of the guys, or most of the guys, they really adhere to the restriction because it's going to be good for us. So this time I'm drafting. I'm on the last of the train, and these guys they just finished their job. They pulled us all the way, and they just have to relax a little bit, draft a little bit because the wind is pretty strong. Probably running around 15 to 20. It's a headwind. Don't be deceived by the clouds. The clouds are really good. The weather is really nice, but the headwind is pretty strong. I mean, like, you have to reduce your frontal area so that you can draft and relax a little bit. So notice the gap is increasing, but these guys will push it a little bit harder for them to catch up and catch my rear wheel. So those two guys are done. See, those two guys are done, and it's about time for us to do our job. So Tak is pulling me. I'm having a vacation behind his wheels, because Dak is a pretty strong rider. So, yep, we're now cruising the Tanah Merah. I think this is not the Tanah Merah road yet. This is still the aviation road. One thing you'll notice when you're entering the Tanah Merah road is you get to see a specific bike lane on the outer side of the road. So the group is a bit spread up. So I've got a tank in front of me and these two guys behind me, and there's another pair trying to catch up with the pace. This time we're actually rolling around 40-42, and TAC made a sign that we have to stop because there's a traffic light. So it's red. You have to observe. The light, because you'll be fine. Singapore is pretty strict. Singapore is really stringent when it comes to observing traffic rules. So, yep, after the stoplight, those guys zoom. That's usually my problem when it comes to starting the pace, because I'm having a hard time keeping up the pace early on. Those guys can accelerate quickly. And me having the 1/11 setup, I'm actually using 52/11/28. So it took me some time to really crank it up and up the pace. So I managed to be with these guys. These guys are staying behind my wheels. And if I'm not mistaken, there's actually a gap over here. I think there's a 15 to 20 meter gap. A 15 to 20 meter gap that I was trying to bridge it. And those guys are just, taking turns, 2 by 2. They're taking turns 2 by 2, tag, staying behind them. And those guys are taking it, by pair, having their turns. So I decided to commit and catch the group, because the wind, as I mentioned, the wind is pretty strong, and I don't want to burn my legs. It's hurting a little bit, so I decided to up the pace, and these guys also trying to keep the pace. And notice you get to see him checking on his buddy. Now we're inside the cycling lane, because we haven't seen guys in front of us. So usually the slower cyclists, they stay inside, and some of us, we from time to time we go outside, and when we go outside for safety. So yep, this time I'm still chasing, trying to up the pace, just to bridge the gap. I want to hide, I want to draft, because I've got an intention to sprint by the end of the TMCR. So we up the pace. This guy will will check on his buddy behind and try to see if his buddy is, keeping up the pace as well. So he will check and look back and try to see if his buddy is catching up. So see the gap, because I upped the pace. I decided to commit that, hey, I need to catch these guys, because I need to rest, I need to relax, I need to draft, I need to reserve my energy. So yep, that's what I did. So notice those guys on the inner lane, they're also pretty strong guys. You can see the cadence, and they stayed inside, and they're riding in pair. So kudos to those guys who are doing that. So they probably gonna join the train as well. They're gonna join the pack as well, the peloton, as a cycling term, a group of cycling together. So that's a peloton. So the gap is there. I decided to commit, and those two angmos are doing the job, and I think I'm still staying behind, trying to recover. I stayed behind trying to recover. I cannot pull. I could never pull this pace, because those guys are just quite fast. I cannot commit. I cannot decide to pull, and I decided to have a staycation behind them. So yep, this guy is riding a Trek Madone, if I'm not mistaken. Is it a rim version? Yeah, it's a rim version. It's so sleek. Yeah, he constantly check on his friend behind him, try to see if the guy behind him, his partner, is keeping the pace as well. So um, it's pretty nice. One thing I mentioned, the road is so nice. The road is so smooth. This time is less road furniture. All you have to do is really focus on your cadence, focus on your position, and focus on the person in front of you. So, yep, one fine morning, one fine Saturday morning to do cycling, and yep, a lot of guys I get to see, and a lot of guys, you get to meet and eventually become your friends. One good thing about cycling is that everyone is a friend to everybody. I mean, like, when we cycle and we have the same helmet, hey, we become buddies. Well, we cycle and we have the same shoes, then we become buddies. We've got a common ground to talk about it. Yep, we managed to pick these guys up, 3 of them. This guy is also a strong guy. I like the helmet. I think this is a Cask Pro Tone. He's pretty tucked in. He's really dialed in his bike. The cadence is pretty nice as well. Yep, there's another guy we passed. He probably gonna decide to join the group. And notice the guy on the left side of the screen. He committed and sprinted. He wanted to join the first pack. And yep, you get to see a lot of cyclists are joining the team now. That's pretty nice, the pace went up. You could see that this guy also committed to really, staying on my wheels. You get to see the hand signal. Hey, why do you get in? And the other side, you go in, and let me draft behind you. I'm pretty small. I'm 58, so, and I usually don't use the drops. I just use the hoods and have an L shape position. So pretty arrow, shall I say? So probably he decided, no. I don't wanna be behind that guy because I cannot draft. I'll probably be behind you. And just do the cadence and do the pace and having all those, having a steady pace. This one is running around 42 to 43. I still can't. I've decided not to pull because the guys in front of me are really strong. Notice that earlier those 2 Singaporeans or 2 cyclists peeled off. They're actually done with their job. Wow, this guy is on track road bike and using an aero bar, an aero helmet, just passed through. Probably he was running around 47, 45, and wow, nobody can catch him. So we decided to stop because there's a stoplight. There's a crossing. So you get to notice that every time we stop, we still observe social distancing. So that's stack, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's stack. So I was actually behind those 2 angmos. And now the group is getting bigger and bigger, but every time we stop, we observe the safe distancing, probably more than a meter. And the only guy that's really close to me is my buddy Tack, because we cycled, we started together, and we joined together. And yep, this is actually closing to the end of it. Probably the sprint will come in here. And this guy on my side is really a strong guy. He's riding a Specialized, probably SL7 or SL6 disc version. And very aerodynamic, and like you get to see the hand sign, and I like his helmet. Probably this one is a Met, I don't know, Rivali, Strale, or the Manta. I'm not pretty sure, but I can see this is a Met helmet, and Tack is behind him, and we're just basically, this time we're inside the designated cycling path because nearing the end of it is actually increasing the number of cars as well. I mean, there are a lot of crossing, a lot of offices here. So, yep. The guy behind me decided to stay in front of me because he also have the intention to do the sprint. I didn't notice that one. And yep. TAC is behind me. Those guys are just cruising, enjoying the day, and you get to notice that those two guys, two Angmos, the big guy whom I said earlier is probably a cyclist from a velodrome. He's been pulling since then. I mean, like probably 5 minutes of pulling. Pretty strong, pretty strong. Everyone is drafting behind him, and I just don't know. Nothing has changed. The pace is still high. The commitment is still high, and nearing the finish line, we call it the finish line. You'll be surprised that he really sprinted. He really sprinted all out, and I can only imagine probably that guy is a pro and an elite back then, and is pretty strong guy. So yep, I'm behind. I'm probably the fourth rider. I've got two Angmos and the other guy. Yeah, so yep, this is the sprint. TAC is still behind me, and there's another guy who's trying to catch up with the first pack. I'm probably the fourth or the third guy, and this is actually the sprint. So I've got two or three Angmos and the Singaporean guy. I don't know, it's probably Singaporean. And yep, I went out from the designated bike lane. We dropped this guy in the sprint, high cadence, and I was so surprised that this guy still committed. He passed me. I was on a speed bump. Sprinting is all about position. I was on the wrong position, and he got me. And the winner was the Chinese guy, or the Singaporean guy who went ahead of me. Right, so that's the TMCR sprint. Stay tuned.